The border. 300 miles and as many crossing points divide Northern Ireland from the Republic. The Army continuously monitors the border and its countryside by helicopter, foot patrol and watchtower. This is the notorious bandit country. So dangerous that many routine army movements have to be by helicopter.
Hotel Juliet, India 90. Thank you.
The guys get very little time off. When they're not patrolling, they're either on guard or they're on vehicle escorts, vehicle patrols. I would say on average, they will probably do an 18-hour day, and if they're lucky, get 6 hours sleep.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Yep. Bye.
To the soldier, border country presents new dangers.
You can't literally pinpoint what you've got to look for, because it could be a gate on a hedgerow that's wired. It could be a thin part in a hedge that's been wired because they've seen you go through there. It could be a dustbin, it could be an old car, it could be a bicycle. The list is countless, and there's no way you can think of these 100 million things you're going to look for on the border that could be earmarked for you.
Blackthorn hedges. You don't go through the gaps, we just go straight through them, plough through them, ripping the kit and all that. It happens all the time. It's a prominent place for us to cross through, really, and anything could be on the other side, pressure pad or something like that. But using the hedge, you know what I mean, you've got more chance of survival going that way than the gap or the gate or whatever.
It became a case of double think. You think, well, if they haven't put the booby trap in the gap, then maybe they've put it in the side of the hedge, so maybe I'll be better off going through the gap in the hedge anyway, or there again, maybe not.
Ireland being one big boggy mess as it is, there was no fresh water, and we had actually been out for 4 days and we had no water. And we stopped at this farm and there was an outside tap, water bottles up, and the farmer come out flying at us, and he actually screaming abuse and going absolutely potty. And then he just went all quiet and he said, look, they're not here now. Just fill your water bottles, but don't ever come back here and fill your water bottles again. He said, because they scare me. If we were given an observation post watching a crossing from north to south, when we got to sort of like within a mile of our destination, we will actually harbour up somewhere quietly and set up the OP. In an OP with 4 people, it gets very strained because you've got to think about going to the toilet, you've got to think about eating. You can't eat hot food, no way, during the 4 days, because the hexi, although it's designed, will smoke. That gives you position away. So you've got to eat cold stuff like that. I mean, what we tended to do was make a big pile of sandwiches, which would last us 2 days. The time comes in 3 days, you've had it up to your eyebrows, you know. I mean, that means going to the toilet in a poly bag and having to secure it in a place, and because litter obviously gives you away. You can't leave anything at all in that position, because if the Irish were to spot that particular place, they can booby trap it for next time. You think, what the hell am I doing here? I always found the last 100 metres going into base the worst. You were wet, you were hungry, you were fed up to the eyeballs. You just wanted to get in. And always that last 100 metres or perhaps 300 metres, you think, don't let an incident occur, just let me get into my bed. It did give the willies going in. You have to run like the clappers into camp, zigzagging up the road.
Get up in the morning, you have about 10 packets, don't you?
As a platoon sergeant, then you have to make sure that people do get their washes and that they are washing. They ain't coming in, because they will do. They're just coming in, and away they go, you know, sleep.
It's all right, you caught me now, then. She's in the shower. Yeah. I'll bear white off.
And then the blokes will soon tell you, okay, you're starting to hum a bit. Right, get your kit off in the washing machine and get yourself showered, you know. Otherwise, because of that knackered, they just drop out on the bed. and you have to give them the old nudge in the back to get them going.
I'll do it.
You got the stench and the stink of people's socks. You're lying up there and somebody's taking his boots off from a 6-hour patrol or whatever he's been on, and that comes up. Get them away, you know. It's pretty difficult to get his heads in this place anyway.
You come in and you'll have your scoff, you know, you can have your scoff, and it's amazing how that can make you feel so much better. Even though you're tired, you can just eat something and feel better and go for it. I mean, everybody's got to do it. It's part of the job. Tough shit if you don't like it, you know. You shouldn't be a soldier.
So, mate.
You've just really got to push the guys, and you've got to rely on them so much. You know, when they're getting tired, I'm getting tired as well. And when I'm giving my orders, my voice is beginning to flag, and I'm beginning to take shortcuts. It's just one of the things you've got to really grip yourself. And if it starts with you, if you provide interest and leadership, then I think it does get down to the boys, and they think, well, yeah, the boss is all right. Why am I so tired? Let's get out. Let's go and do it. I mean, it's a great life out here. For the first time, really, in my life, at the end of each day, I can sort of put my hand on my heart and say, God, really worked hard today. Really had to work to get through that one. And so there's a great deal of relief at the end of the tour when things finally do finish and you go back.
No, great fun. We would describe it as immensely exciting, a wonderful experience. We were living life. This was a real experience. And there's nothing like a bit of growing up you can do very quickly when you're in a situation like that where the bullets might be flying around. I mean, immense responsibility.
When I'm here, I enjoy it. I'd say that the dodgy times at the beginning, when you're getting used to the actual area you're going to work in, and at the end of the tour, when they know you're leaving, and you know you're leaving, so it's a fight for survival.
And 3 weeks before the end of the tour, a soldier, Private Stephen Gill, was caught in the blast of a remote-controlled bomb.
Initially, we thought he was going to die, but at present, he's lost one leg, an eye, and there's been reports that he might lose his other foot, so he's very badly injured.
As I got to him, I was the first man to him. When I found him on the floor, I didn't know where he was at first. All I found was a pair of ripped-up combats on the floor, and got to him through the smoke and gave him first aid on his injuries, which were pretty horrific. And then I was helped later by these guys and whoever was on the ground, that was it, basically.
I tried to get the kit he had on his back off, and he was shouting to me that, be careful, you know, because of the injury on his arm. I didn't look at his legs because...
The state of his legs were...
He was covered in dust.
They were literally more or less blown apart. And when he was trying to get his arm off his back, I thought, just be careful, because his arms might come off or something silly like that. You don't know what to think when it's going on. You're so scared and frightened about what's going on around you.